Hello, everybody. This is Mark, the stock market jobber. I want to talk to you a little bit about the markets. I've pretty extensive background in trading. I traded directly for Mario Gabelli and for Steve Cohen, who are two of the greats. I was also the head of trading at three different institutional money managers. I've overseen a bunch of hedge fund strategies. I was a market maker, so I've been around the block a few times when it comes to trading. And now what I do is I try to teach people like yourself to how institutional traders really look at the market and how Wall Street really works. So please check out our community, stockmarketjobber.com, and please subscribe to our YouTube page. My marketing person keeps telling me that I have to keep asking you to subscribe to the YouTube page, so please do so. So anyway, very boring today. I don't think we're going to see much movement until Powell speaks later on this afternoon. And even then, sometimes there's a delayed reaction. The market might not have the catalyst move until like maybe tomorrow. We can see where one of the things that I teach, and one of the things that we know in the institutional world, is that one of the fundamental principles of markets is that some price levels are more important than others. And we can see we're right at one of these important levels, this 410 level. It was resistance back here. Now we kind of stalled out. My expectation is that this breaks and we go lower. And the reason why I say that is because the Facebook numbers from last week were not as good as everyone. I don't think that they're as good as people seem to think. They said they're cutting expenses. Well, who cuts expenses? Companies that aren't doing well. They missed their earnings by 50 cents. Their net income is down by around 50% since the same period last year. So I don't see what the hoopla is. Also, too, there's this talk about the Fed, quote unquote, pivot, where they're going to start cutting rates. And based on the economic data or the jobs number we saw on Friday, it would suggest that the economy is expanding. And if the economy is expanding, well, that in and of itself is inflationary. So it could be a case of what's good for the economy ends up being bad for the market. Because if the economy is good, they need to keep raising interest rates. Also, they've pretty much telegraphed that, or at least they've said that they don't have any plans of cutting rates anytime soon. But before I go, let me just show you another principle about financial markets. When we look at a chart, we're looking at psychology, all right? And you might say, what are you talking about? Well, look at this. Notice how this support level here for the SPY became resistance over here. How could something like that happen? Well, the answer is buyer's remorse. There's people who bought here, and then when the price dropped below their buy price, they regret buying and they tell themselves they're going to sell and get out, but they don't want to lose any money. So as a result, they place their sell orders at the same level they bought at. Now we see the opposite. What was resistance turns back into support. This is because of seller's remorse. People who sold here regret doing so once the market goes higher, and they tell themselves they made a mistake and they want to buy their shares back, but they're only going to do so if they can buy them for the same price they sold them at. So buyer's remorse can turn support into resistance. Seller's remorse can turn resistance into support. Here we see again resistance becomes support. So one of the big, not even really secret, but in the institutional world, we don't really look at silly things like Gann theory and Elliott waves. We look at what levels are important, what trends are important, and what the momentum is. And if you check out stockmarketjobber.com and join our community, I would be happy to help you along your path of trying to become a successful trader. All right, so again, I don't expect to see much of a movement until we hear from Powell. So that could be later on this afternoon, or it could be tomorrow. So make sure you check back so we can see where we make sure you check back so we can see what's going on. Because if we get movements, we get chances to make profits. Traders like markets that are moving. Today, as of right now, this market is pretty much unchanged. All right, everybody, thank you, and I hope to see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. All right, thank you, everybody. Talk to you soon.